And it's the dumbest bill in America, and it is requiring gun buyers in New York to provide their social media handles. Okay. It's true. Requiring gun owners, when they apply to get a gun, or if they have a gun, to provide all of their social media information and handles. So, ladies and gentlemen, the New York approves gun law requiring buyers to provide social media handles. Yeah, you heard that correctly. So this is in Fox News. New York Democrat Governor Kathy Hochul signed a new gun control bill just last Friday. She did it even after the Supreme Court ruled last week that the state's rules that make it difficult, if not impossible, for New Yorkers to obtain a concealed carry permit were unconstitutional. She didn't care. She and the legislature still passed this bill. This latest legislation was signed into law shortly after New York's Democrat-controlled legislature passed the proposal. Of course, Hochul couldn't wait to sign it. Hochul, had called the legislature back to Albany on Thursday of last week. So in 24 hours, she called them back for an extraordinary session so that they could work on the bill in response to the Supreme Court's decision. The law, struck down by the Supreme Court, said that gun owners would have to demonstrate proper cause to receive a concealed carry license. The new law will require people who want to purchase a handgun to hand over a list of social media accounts that they have maintained over the last 3 years, so officials can verify their character and conduct. Now, first of all, how would you verify someone's character? How would you necessarily define their conduct? Well, that's going to be up to the liberals and the progressives in New York State, because the whole idea is to quell free speech. So you quell free speech by getting your social media handles and tell you need to get rid of those social media handles. And that way, and only then, will we give you a right to own a handgun and a concealed carry permit. Well, then you think about it, it's like, well, then what that's doing is it's preventing your First Amendment rights. So no sooner did the Supreme Court of the United States say, no, New York, you're trying to stop people from exercising their Second Amendment rights. Now, New York State is saying, we want to deny you your First Amendment rights in order to give you your Second Amendment rights back.
And it probably violates the Fourth Amendment, too. Look, the Constitution is really not the Constitution. It's more like guidelines for these people.
It's more like guidelines.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the captain on
Pirates of the Caribbean? Yeah. These are like guidelines.
More like guidelines. Isn't that the Pirates Code?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is to the left.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like guidelines.
Right,
yeah.
right.
When it works for them, then it's good.
Right,
then otherwise,
it's becoming like a joke.
Exactly.
To them.
Let's just stack the Supreme Court, and that's at least that's what they're saying.
Right. Well, that would fix it. I mean, for them.
Can you believe this, though? Here's the point. The state of New York just got slapped across the face by the Supreme Court of the United States. And the Supreme Court said, look, the Second Amendment is not like a suggestion. You can't deny people the right to concealed carry just because you've decided. I mean, there's this thing called the Second Amendment. And then New York State's like, we're going to have a special session. We're going to call all the members of the state legislature back in. And everybody agrees, like the Democrats who control the state legislature in New York at least agree. The governor agrees. They call back in, they go back in, they meet, and within 24 hours, they have a new bill. And the bill is like, you first have to provide all your social media handles for the past 3 years, and we're going to review it before we give you your concealed carry license, and we're going to decide whether you have the character and conduct to have a... What is the difference between that and what they did before?
So let me get this straight. So you have to turn over your social media accounts before you can exercise your constitutional right.
Yes, that's what they're saying.
Can they apply that to voting? I mean, but think about it. I mean, you have a constitutional right to vote, constitutional right to a firearm. And, I mean, who's the distinguished character? What good character is?
Well, that's what I said. I mean, who decides what character
can't even
is?
Decide what gender they are
Right,
at this point.
Right.
So, I mean, I mean, I thought that was self-disclosure.
I'm pretty sure that that's part of what makes this all so dystopian by the Democrats, because they're going to say, oh, you're Dr. Rachel Levine. You're like assistant health secretary of the United States of America. You were a dude. Now you're a woman. Oh, we don't need your social media accounts because you're the right gender, which is no gender, so therefore we're going to give you a gun, a concealed carry. But that guy over there who lives in an unsafe neighborhood, who's a law-abiding citizen, we're not going to let him have a gun.
Well, I mean, we could probably run some algorithms and just cut all this off. If you're predominantly a male, white, pickup truck, watch the NFL, maybe like you made a reference to God or go to church or something like that, don't even bother applying.
Right.
I mean, That's basically what they're saying.
That's literally what they're saying.
Right.
And they're literally flipping the bird to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Right.
That's what, and the
like
thing
I said,
is,
it's got like, you don't control me. This is how the left, they're Marxists.
They're Marxists. And you know what's interesting about this is, and this is important for podcast listeners, remember, ladies and gentlemen, New York State has it's a big state. It has an enormous number of Republicans. A lot of people don't realize this, but in Long Island, which a lot of people say is, they confuse with New York City, Long Island has I think 2 or 3 million people. I don't recall the exact population.
Well, I'll tell you,
there are an enormous number of Republicans just on Long Island, let alone New York State.
I think it was only like maybe 6 years ago. The New York State legislature was Republican.
It was Republican majority, and then it flipped Democrat. And the first opportunity the Democrats got, they're trying to shut down free speech, shut down the Second Amendment, literally cancel the police. I mean, one stupid thing after another. And this is why I feel so bad. There are so many Republicans and so many reasonable people that live in New York State who are affected by this idiocy. It's like as we've played many times before in the past, the idiocracy, right? I mean, the dumb people are in charge and they just keep dumber.
But honestly,
right.
I don't.
Rondo.
At this point,
Rondo's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes.
I don't even think they're dumb. This is just an evil plan.
It is evil.
And this is part of their roadmap.
Final thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, it's obviously they're smarter than the Supreme Court and normal people. Crime is running rampant in their area. They can't control it, and they want to stop people from defending themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the last word for Mark and the Millennials. And that is the dumbest bill in America, requiring gun buyers to provide their social media handles. And that's it for Mark and the Millennials. Thank you for joining Mark and the Millennials. This is Mark Fisher. Thank you to our producer, Christopher Hopkins, and our guest, Matt Morgan. Check us out on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, Truth Social, Rumble, and our website. See you next time.